Hi, welcome everybody. Just want to thank you all for joining us today at this virtual session. And just excited that you joined. I'm really excited to hear from some of my colleagues here at the University of Denver. My name is Josh Gabrielson. I'm the Associate Director of Admission and Transfer Coordinator and work with the Admission Office here at the University of Denver. So we have an amazing team today that's going to be presenting to you. They are representatives from the Leadership Studies program, comprised of the PLP Leadership Program and Colorado Women's College Leadership Scholars Program. And just to go over a few logistics, you will not have a chat feature today to be able to ask questions, but you can click on the Q&A. And if you click on that, then we'll get to your question and be able to respond to that individually. If we do see the question enough, we might put it out to a large group in the chat feature. So please check out the Q&A area and the chat function right now, just so you're familiar with that. In addition, you can click on the closed captioning and be able to use that throughout the presentation as well. We will be recording this and then sharing it out with representatives that are presenters as well as the attendees today, so then they can share it with their departments as well as we'll be sharing it with you all, so you can check it out again. So if I could have the rest of my colleagues join with their video and join in, that'd be great. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to let them take away the presentation, introduce themselves, and go from there. And then I will join again at the end. So thank you again for joining us today. And I think you're in for a treat and listening to our departments.
Great. Thank you so much, Josh. My name is Paul Kosemple. I'm the Director of Leadership Studies at the University of Denver, and I'm very excited to be here with you today and tell you about both PLP, the leadership program, as well as the Colorado Women's College Leadership Scholars Program, two programs that we think have really high impact learning practices and add a lot of value to your University of Denver experience. And so I'll start off by giving you a little bit of background about PLP. We were founded in 1995, so we've been around a little while, longer than most of you have been alive, honestly, for those who are applying right now. We consist of a 24 credit academic minor, but also a learning community and an academic program, as well as a community engaged program as well. And we'll get into more detail on that. We accept about 88 students each year into PLP. And typically that's based on about 300 or so applications. And a year or so ago, we moved into the DeMond Family Residential Village. So we are a living community, and all of our students do live together on the 3rd and 4th floor of DeMond. And so I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Trisha Teig, who's going to talk about the CWC Leadership Scholars Program.
Hi, everyone. I am Trisha Teig, and I'm the faculty director for the CWC Leadership Scholars Program. So we started in 2016, and we're a smaller program. We have about 58 scholars currently across 4 cohorts, which means we admit about 15 to maybe 20 first-year students each year into our cohort. We intentionally target and accept students into this program that are from multiple different communities, including students of color, LGBTQ identified, and first-generation college students. And we are also a 24 credit leadership minor. We'll go over that in a little bit. But the other thing that is distinct about our program is that we do offer up to $6,000 each year for students who qualify and have unmet need. The other distinction that we have is we are a learning community, but we are not a living learning community. So you do not live together with these folks in this space. But I'm going to quickly pass this along to our next slide, because I'm going to just cover a little bit about our academics. So again, this is for the Leadership Studies minor as a whole. Both the PLP and the CWC programs have very similar curriculum. So I'm going to cover all of that. So in your first year, you will be taking a focused kind of interactive experiential space in both the classroom and co-curricular. In the fall, we have an experience that is focused on inclusive leadership and thinking about who we are and how our identities impact our leadership processes. In the second class you take in your winter quarter, you learn all about teams and you get to do a collective team project, which is really exciting. And then in your your spring quarter, you learn all about leadership in social movements. So we study social movements both from the past and also current that give us a better context for what leadership really means. So in your second year, this is a really exciting space. This is the year that you get to do a collective project across the entire year. And Paul is going to talk a little bit more about that in a later slide. But I'll just note that your very first class, called Leading Community Change, is all about preparing for that project and doing research and getting an understanding of the social issue you choose to focus on in your project. And in the second class of that quarter, we focus on how do we create community change within our own kind of identity and perspectives. And that includes how do we address conflict. So we read this book called Crucial Conversations, and we think about what that means to apply that to our own lives. And then in the third quarter, so the spring quarter of your second year, if you're in PLP, you'll be taking a class that's focused on global leadership. And if you're in CWC, you'll take a class that's entitled Anti-Racist Feminist Leadership. So both are wonderful classes and exciting opportunities. And then in your third or fourth year, you will complete a capstone course. And this course is an ethical leadership course and also a reflection on what you want to be as a leader moving forward. So it's a synthesis of all of our content and also a space for you to just kind of make plans and think about who you want to be as a leader as you go out into the world and graduate. We also do require a few other things, including 6 credits of electives, but you can get that through lots of different ways, other classes, but also internships. A lot of our students study abroad, and a lot of study abroad credits totally work for our elective credits as well. So we support students in successfully completing the leadership minor in whatever major you choose to accomplish as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yona Estrada. My pronouns are she, her, ella, and I am the Colorado Women's College Leadership Scholars Program Coordinator. So here we just want to highlight our co-curricular programming. So we have a fall and winter retreat where we enjoy Colorado's nature and we go up to the mountains for a night or two. We network a lot with our CWC alumni, so both including the Leadership Scholars alumni, but also the the history of the Colorado Women's College as well. We do career development workshops, game nights, welcome back dinners every quarter and such. So here are just some pictures and some overview of what that looks like.
Thank you, Yona. And I'm going to just briefly touch on some of the similar things that we do in PLP with other leadership studies students. Lots of fun activities, retreats. We actually are going up to Snow Mountain Ranch of the Rockies this weekend. And so students are going to go sledding, go ice skating, go roller skating, actually, mountain or wall climbing, and just doing a number of things with our faculty, with our staff, and with students from all 4 years of the program. And then we have lots of speaker events that are great ways not only to bring other students together, but to hear from leaders in our community. And you see last year we had Ashley Cornelius, who's a regional poet laureate, who spoke with our students and did a really neat, interesting creativity workshop. So we try to do lots of things, and a lot of them are driven by students and what they want to see and bringing those together. So let's see, okay. And then outside of the classroom as well, we have a lot of community engaged learning in both programs. Through CWC, there's a huge mentoring component that allows students to get into the community in the first year and get engaged with community mentors. In PLP, there are what we call community learning field placements, and these are volunteer opportunities with organizations throughout the Denver metro area, and students make some really meaningful connections and learn a lot. And then we apply what they learn into the classroom. And so they have really specific examples of how they are learning leadership. And then in the second year, as Tricia alluded to earlier, we have either the Community Change Initiative in PLP or the Partners in Community Service program in CWC. And as Tricia mentioned, these are year-long projects where you as a student get to team with other students, identify a social issue that you're passionate about, that you want to work on together, and really create something out of nothing in partnership with a community organization. This experience itself is something that our students talk about as one of the key things that they use when they're talking about when they're talking in job interviews or applying for graduate school, that they get so much value out of it in terms of having been able to create something, having to work in a team setting, having to understand conflict and how to work with conflict, and just so many real world life skills that they're able to apply from these projects. And they range the gamut based upon what students are interested in as well. And so we have a short amount of time and we want to get to your questions. So this is sort of a bottom line of why would I do PLP? It's a really enhanced first year living experience. You live with 87 other students. You really make strong connections and it makes for a really seamless transition. The career development opportunities are fantastic. Not only the skill building that happens in the classroom, but the connections and the network that we have with our alumni. I actually had a woman who's the executive vice president of the Colorado Farm Bureau in my class this afternoon, talking with students and making those connections. And so lots of practical leadership experiences, including we do have funding that supports students' leadership and professional development as well. And so with that, I wanted to ask one of our students, Felix Betis, to join us and join the panel and ask him this question. So Felix, if you're there, why did you join PLP and why do you think prospective students should join?
Hi, yeah. So as a pre-medical student, I joined the PLP program to establish a better foundation of leadership, as being a doctor requires the ability to communicate effectively in team settings, be it political, social, or medical. But what I've gained from this program is more than what I could have asked for going into it. I've made invaluable connections, lifelong friends, and I've learned more than what the basic fundamentals of leadership are. The PLP team has tested and pushed me out of my comfort zone to encapsulate what being a leader is in public, but also in private with myself. I think this program transcends leadership. It embodies more the essence of community. The PLP program taught me that leadership isn't an individual process, but rather it's a supportive community that lifts each other up and creates a population of leaders. And then for incoming freshmen that are eager to build long-lasting friendships, explore their interests in depth, and make a positive impact on their community, etc., the PLP program offers such a diverse array of opportunities. PLP caters to just such a wide range of interests and aspirations. So I wholeheartedly recommend considering the PLP program, as I've made so many different types of connections. I'm shadowing and working as a volunteer at the Children's Hospital right now, and I've already made so many different connections there as just a first-year student. So it's incredible.
That's awesome, Felix. Thanks so much for sharing that, especially as someone who is in the shoes of these students last year, right? Attending one of these webinars as well. So thanks so much for being a part of this panel. And I'm going to turn it back to Yona, who's going to talk about some student benefits for CWC.
Thanks, Paul. And you can go ahead and have this whole slide ready to go. Yep. So here I just want to highlight some of the benefits for joining CWC. So we are a diverse, inclusive, intercultural global leadership program. Here are some demographics of our current first-year scholars that we admitted. We have 19 first-year scholars that we admitted this past fall. We also have a mentorship program, and that's both a scholar to scholar. So all first years are paired with a second, third, or fourth scholar, but we also support you in finding a mentor in the community that interests for your professional goals. And then we want to highlight the scholarship piece again for any unmet need of up to $6,000. And I'll introduce our CWC student speaker, Kaylee, and she will go ahead and answer what has been the highlight of her experience with CWC so far.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a second-year scholar. What I really like the most about CWC is the community that you get to have through doing the program. There's a lot of different perspectives that are present in your cohort because people come from all backgrounds, and I think that difference really helps us to share stories with each other and connect with each other. So it's just really valuable to get to be with these people in class and on retreats and outside of class, and you get to build relationships with people that you can trust and lean on, including the professors. And we also learn how to collaborate with each other really well and network with our community. And I think that's also a really valuable skill to have for leadership.
Thanks, Kaylee. And then here's some program eligibility requirements. So you do have to be an undergraduate first-year student entering in the fall in 2024. We prioritize first generation or students of color and or LGBTQ identified students. It's an or, so you don't have to have all three of those. We have award scholarship for those that demonstrate a financial need. It's really important, and both we see this in your essay questions and in your interview, that you have an interest in advancing women's leadership and a passion to be a developed change maker and a desire to be in the CWC Leadership Scholars Program. And if you are interested, if all of that was up your alley, then we encourage you to apply. Our application is currently open with a deadline of Friday, March 29th. And we ask that you apply as soon as you can and be available for a 30-minute interview during the following week from April 1st to 5th. And you can apply by visiting our website or scanning this QR code now.
And I'm just leaving that QR code up there for a second, everyone, so you have a chance to get that. And then I'm going to pass it over to Ontario Dooley, who is the program coordinator for PLP.
Thank you, Paul. Hi, so happy to be here to talk to all of you about our wonderful programs. I know there's a question in the chat right now. I've been answering questions, so I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we will also have an open floor for questions in a moment where we can all answer. But our priority deadline for PLP is February 14th. You can scan this QR code to go to our website. You can also go to Leadership Studies on the DU website. It's a quick Google search. And if you have any questions, you can email us at applyplp@du.edu. If you have any questions, please never hesitate. We're open to all admitted students. And so if you have friends who are interested, who are also accepted to DU, please go ahead and share that information. So our second deadline is April 3rd. And while we encourage you to apply by February 14th, if for some reason you have a delay, we do have that second application opportunity. And so we're here to support you, and we hope a lot of you will consider our program. Okay, and then here are just some frequently asked questions you can take a look at, but they include, is CWC and the PLP application separate from the DU application? And the answer to that is yes. Both of our applications are through essentially separate parts of the website. And on the DU application, you can indicate whether you might be interested, but you do have to do a separate application to be considered. Again, if you have any questions about that, please reach out to someone at DU, including myself or the applyplp@du.edu or CWC, so we can answer those questions early for you. You can do honors and CWC or PLP. Honors is primarily an academic program, and we're more of a community program, so they are compatible. Now, another important question we get a lot is if you can do another living learning community and do that with PLP or CWC. And so for PLP, we have a living requirement, so you cannot do another LLC and PLP, but you can do an LLC and CWC.
That's not accurate.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry.
It's okay. No, because it takes up a lot of room in your academic space to be in both an LLC or in CWC, you have to choose which opportunity you want to participate in. So you can absolutely apply to all of them, but if you choose to participate in CWC, you can't also be in an LLC.
Okay, and here's our contact information.
Yeah, here's our contact information if you want to follow up further. We do have time for other questions for sure, so keep putting those into the Q&A. Yona, it looks like your email has a typo in it, so that is Yona Estrada. Yona Hiza Estrada. has an A in there in between the R and the D so that people get that. I see a sort of theme of questions in terms of how much do these programs limit what you can do at DU. I really don't think they do much other than you can't do two, really similar programs at the same time, like CWC and PLP, for example, or an LLC and PLP. But otherwise, they are definitely additive programs. Our students are able to do double majors and triple minors, and the quarter system allows for that. The way our curriculum is structured allows for that as well, because it's just an extra 2-credit class most quarters. There's just a couple of quarters where you do 4-credit classes. Probably a larger percentage of our students study abroad than all of University of Denver students, just because they're really interested in that. So our students do have those study abroad opportunities. And as I saw in one of the questions that was answered, we have specific interterm courses, short-term study abroad opportunities that are open to students across the university, but CWC scholars and PLP students get priority for those classes as well. So let's see. Any other questions that you looked at, Trisha, or that anyone wants to answer? Ooh, there's a first time I saw this question, and I'm going to answer this question live. How does PLP compare to the Fritz Noble School LEAD program? Can I do both? I don't know anything about the Fritz Noble School LEAD program, so I would imagine. What's that? Do you have an answer?
That's why I didn't answer, because I was like, oh, we need to find out.
I don't know about it. I will find that out. And Nadia, if you want to reach back out to us, we will have that answer for you. I would imagine that you can actually. Most of those, most other leadership programs or entrepreneurship programs or otherwise, are programs that you do as part of your curriculum, as within your major. And so there typically aren't conflicts with those, but this one I'm not familiar with. And so we do have a lot of students that are in the School of Hospitality Management. And so, or not, maybe not a lot, but we do have our fair share. And so those students are great students in our program and get a lot out of it as well.
I just wanted to, oh yeah, you were going the same direction, maybe, Felix. I just wanted to note the clarification of a question that perhaps already went away, but just to clarify, so both leadership studies programs in PLP and CWC are 4-year programs. So your first 2 years is really intensive. You take a class every single quarter, but even in your 3rd and 4th year, you're still completing that leadership minor and you're still being invited to all of these co-curricular experiences. That is unique compared to the LLC options, which are just during your first year.
I saw a couple questions just talking about, is it realistic to take honors in PLP? Is PLP a lot of work? I am currently a student taking 19 credit hours right now. I'm doing a lot of different extracurriculars, and I have friends who are in both the honors and PLP program. It's very manageable. It's for final exams, I saw a question like that as well. It's not something that you're really studying for a standardized kind of test. It's really just community-based. The first year is based on yourself and your own leadership practices. I had to write an essay based on a book that we're reading, as well as my own leadership practices. It's a very manageable course load. I think rather than stressing on, is it going to be harder? It's more, as Paul said, an additive to the rest of your curriculum, and it really helps boost the rest of your curriculum as well.
If folks have more questions, please type them in the Q&A.
I'll answer one question live that Felix looks like he's answering in the chat. Roommate selection is similar. You obviously need to live with someone for PLP within PLP. And so you will get access to knowing who else is in PLP to try to identify if there's someone that you want to room with. Or you can just, take the chance, fill out a really short questionnaire, and they will pair you with someone. I don't know if that's the route I would go, because then you're not responsible if it doesn't work out. If you plan and arrange for someone that you just meet over social media once or twice, you made that choice and you're with that person. But we've seen both work really well, so it's kind of up to you and how you want to do that. All right, Trisha's typing the answer to Abby's question, so that's just a quick one. Other questions that are coming, we have about 3 minutes left in our webinar. You've got our contact information up there in case you want to follow up directly with any of us as well. So, so I'll answer that one live, even though Felix is answering. Yes, you get all breaks. You don't stay over winter break or spring break. So you definitely, for PLP, for CWC, do not stay on campus over the breaks typically. That's when we have great opportunities. We have an interterm class that goes to Belize. We have an interterm class that goes to Ireland. And those are great ways to fill that time as well. So Derek asks, if we come in with a transfer credits, can you get a PLP minor in 3 years? Yes, you absolutely can, Derek. We've actually had students get the PLP minor in 2 years. That takes some work and takes some figuring it out. But yes, you can get it in 3 years. Absolutely. 3 years and study abroad in that time as well.
That's true for CWC too. We have actually a lot of students in CWC who graduate early in either, usually it's in a 3-year timeline, but sometimes it's in 2. Yeah.
Yeah, students that come in with sort of the dual enrollment in high school, whatever, it has other names as well, but often come in with 2 years worth of college credit, and so we can make it work. Maggie asked a question, is the living requirement for 2 years? No, it is just for the first year in PLP. And no living requirement for CWC as well. So,
although a lot of our students end up living with each other because they formed some pretty good bonds in their first year. So we do see that happening.
Yeah, any other questions? Type them furiously now. We do have a minute or two left in the webinar. All right, not seeing any others come in, and we are right at 5:30. So please don't hesitate to follow up with us if you do have any questions. Really, really appreciate all the questions that you did have and the interest in our programs. As we all shared, we think that they're definitely value additive for your college experience, and really encourage you to apply. So thank you all so much for being here, and thank the panelists.
Yeah, thank you everybody for joining our presenters, as well as all the students and guests. Just want to remind you as well, we are going to be sending out the recording to everyone after virtual open house is finished at the end of next week. So you will have access. If we went too fast, you can check us out again. But also, if you want to click on the links in the chat, they can bring you directly over to their websites, or if you didn't see the QR codes, and then the contact here is right on the page. So you can chat this down or take a picture quick, so you have that information. So thank you again. I know there's some more sessions tonight, so hopefully you're enjoying yourself, and everyone have a good rest of your evening.